And probably one of the last things we are going to do is create our second enemy, and the second enemy is going to be a bit more lethal than the first. It's going to move a little bit quicker, but we're going to have less of them. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move this down here, because the blocks we're going to use are going to be very, very, very similar to this. So the game block is where we're going to use and get this first block from. Now, at the moment, this one is set every 2 seconds. Now I'm not going to have it as fast as every 2 seconds, so I'm just going to set this to every 5 seconds, and we are going to add in the enemy. And the way we do that is we're going to click on set enemies. So if I click on that one there, so I go to my sprites, get this set my sprite. We're going to change the name of it, and if you rename, and you're going to call it enemy 2. Now, mine might give me a little error because I just got enemy. Oh, there we are. It's done that. Anyway, it's happy. So, set enemy 2 to sprite. So, we're going to draw the sprite. Now, as I said to you before, you should have hopefully drawn the sprite out or planned it earlier. One thing that I probably didn't mention to you, if you look in the bottom corner here, right, it's just disappeared now, so it's gone off. If you're ever looking for the center dot, it's going to be 8, 8. So, that there is the dead center of this, if you are wondering how to get something into the center. So I'm just going to draw something really quickly. What I'm drawing, I've got no idea. It looks awful, doesn't matter. It's just to show you guys what it is we can do. Okie dokie, so this one is, hopefully your drawing skills are better than mine. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with this at the moment. There we are, that's done. When you are happy and you've drawn your second enemy, click on the done option, and that will obviously set there. Now we are going to use the same sort of options as we've used before here. Now you can duplicate these, but I don't want you to at the moment. We may as well add these in because you're not used to everything that's in here. So the set enemy position is going to be from the sprites. So you can kind of see here where we go in, set, and then we're going to change this to enemy 2. And then you've got their position 0, 0. So we're going to use random number generators, which are in the math library. So if I drag these both in, notice how I am putting them in now, right? I don't know if you just saw that as well. As I'm putting them in, they will hover in there. Okay, so we need to change that to pretty much the same sort of values. So if I do 10 to 150, and this one I'm not going to have as close down, and the reason for it is this one I'm going to basically have running much, much, much quicker. So I'm going to pick a random there from 10 to 20, and if we just restart this game for a second, you can see there, look, that's added a random one in there, which is great, and it'll add one in every sort of 5 seconds, which is fantastic. Now what we need to do is have this velocity going down. So again, we're going to go back into the sprites. We're going to look then down here. So if I click on this one here, set, again we got to change this variable here to enemy 2, and then we're going to set the velocity y, and then we are going to set this, I'm going to be quite mean, and put 100 in, right? So it's really going to go quick. And then don't forget, now we need the auto destroy on as well, so that when it goes off the screen, it's going to destroy. So if I just scroll down here, find my auto destroy, I don't know where it's gone, hang on, I think I've gone past it, there it is. So set my sprite, and then set that to auto destroy, set that on, and hopefully every 2 seconds, oh, hang on, forgot to change that. Look, now I don't know if you did see that when I tried to play this, a little error popped up there, program error, sim error. The program errors are a little bit difficult to understand, but if you do get an error like that, just look in your code and you might see one of these little exclamation marks. This is telling you what's wrong. Okay, so I forgot to change mine to enemy 2, and hopefully now, there are, bam, it'll work. Okay, so if I do that, there are, so it is working quite well there. Now you will need to change one other thing as well. You'll need to tell it to be an enemy. Obviously I forgot to do that now, otherwise it's not going to have the collision detection working. So let's see if we can just prove that now. Bam, lovely. Okay, so that works there as well. So that's set to an enemy, that's set to an enemy, so when these hit, it will work. So if we look back at what we've done so far in this game here, let me just move these code blocks. We've got 2 enemies in and working. We've got collision detection. We've used some camera shake functions as well. We've set our player to move. We've also drawn a few players, and we've created our enemies as well, which will come in and update every few seconds. Now you can change these if you want to make the game a little bit more difficult, that's fine. In the next lesson we are going to advance this a little bit further. We're going to look at getting collectibles. We'll look then at a few more effects that we can add in to improve the overall appearance of the game and make it looking really good. Now hopefully you've done this within the team's environment, so it should save for you. If you are in any doubt, if you click on the little save button on the bottom, not that one, the download button, if you are doing this in the browser, because you'll need to download it and save it somewhere. Okay, now if you're doing this within Teams, you will not need to download it at all. So that is it. Can you please make sure that you have added in the extra little bits that I've added in here, and make sure you rename the variables, and make sure you set it to a type of enemy, and make sure you set the velocity to something a lot quicker. Okay, best of luck.